Hello everyone, my name is Bygl and welcome back to another episode here from the Let's Play series. I hope you are having a wonderful day today, and we are back here next to the Ender Sorter, which we completed in the last episode. We put the entire interior together here with the new 1.17 blocks, and it's looking pretty cool, I think. So last episode I made a promise that I'm going to show you how these modules actually operate, and that's gonna be the first thing we're gonna do today. So this is how your average Ender Sorter box is going to look, right? We're gonna have them dedicated to certain types of blocks, and let's say we wanna place some oak and maybe some dark oak wood. So we're just gonna go ahead, we're gonna place these, just gonna do some building, right? We're gonna then put those back in, and now we are missing those blocks, right? So when we run out of blocks, we're gonna go back to this building and we're gonna place these back into this place, and you can see that they're gonna get refilled back to the top. I think that's really cool. Really cool. So let me just quickly get rid of this because I don't actually want to keep this, truth be told, and I'm gonna show you how we restock this thing. So we still need to get more glowberries so we can get to the platforms more easily. Oh, messed it up. Okay, I'm just gonna use a rocket to save your guys time. So this is the chest from which we extracted our things, and this is somewhat how it's gonna look. We're gonna have 5 rows for the different things we want to use. You sort them first through this hopper. So this is the main hopper from which we extracted, and this is some of the blocks. You can see that some of the oak got extracted. We used to have a stack here, now it's slightly lower, so we're gonna restock that. And other hoppers have different blocks in them. Let me try and find the dark oak one. Oh, it's this one, okay. So now we just place this back here. Okay, so the plan for today's episode is gonna be actually finishing our dark prismarine farm. Hello Enderman, please don't grief my new building. So, a few episodes back we set up our guardian farm, so now we have a pretty steady access to prismarine. This is the plan, you can already see where this is going. This puddle here spawns an unorthodox amount of squid. It's actually kinda crazy, so I figured we should actually use this. So we have a 9x9, I think. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's a 7x7. Actually, no, it is a 9x9 if you count the outside. So we have a 9x9 area here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig this all the way down to bedrock. As you can see, I already set up a small beacon here with the haste 2 effect. So that's gonna be the first thing we gotta do. And I'm even gonna try and decorate the interior. That is gonna be pretty interesting. I usually don't do that with my farms, but you know, we gotta break the ice somehow. So we're gonna just clear out all of the water real quick. And a pretty cool thing is that this puddle doesn't really have access to any other rivers when you're having it loaded, right? So we do have a bunch of small river puddles all around here, like this for example. This is considered a river, but only on these few blocks, and these few blocks don't even have water, right? It's really interesting. It's like a river without water. So I think squids need a 2x2 area to spawn, at least. So that's why we don't ever see squids in these places. But this is a really good river for making a squid farm. We do have a bigger puddle here. We might have to get rid of it. We'll see how the farm actually operates. But other than that, there is still a small part of the river here. This is another part where the squids cannot spawn, and this is a part where they actually can, but it is rather far away from the compendium, so this shouldn't really be too big of an issue, I don't think. I mean, if the squids do spawn here, we can get rid of it quite easily. But yeah, you can see that we just need to fly away for a few seconds and there is already a bunch of squids in here. We do have a few of these small lakes around here as well, but squids don't spawn in those because they are not considered a river or a ocean biome. They are just plains, as you can see, so we don't even have to think about clearing those, which is very, very convenient. Get out of the way. I need to place a block here. You know, these squids, they really don't have a good pathfinding code, do they? They're really dumb in the way they move, and that is actually a thing that I want to use in today's design for our farm now. I have never really seen the interior of a squid farm. Yeah, they do kill themselves a lot, don't they? I haven't really seen a proper interior of a squid farm yet, but I kinda have an idea, so we're gonna use their rather dumb pathfinding mechanics. So we're gonna make several 3x3 spawning places, kinda like so, in this cube. We're gonna kinda split the whole farm in these 4 sections, and we're gonna have these for the squids to actually spawn in, and the idea is that they are gonna be swimming in a random direction when they spawn, and there is not gonna be any water over here, so when they swim, they're gonna get over here and fall down onto a hopper chain and we can collect the ink automatically. That is kinda the idea behind this farm. I have no idea whether it's actually gonna work or not, so we'll see. I mean, it does make sense, right? Does it make sense? Makes sense to me. Water cleared. Never mind. Oh, did I really do this? Did I really just do a 1 block layer on the top of it? And I'm dumb when I'm explaining stuff. This sure does look like a interesting pattern for a hole, doesn't it? So if you're curious why I'm actually making the hole look this way, I wanna have a glass pane top or a glass pane ceiling on this so we can actually see the farm working when we're standing on top of it. That is the idea. So we're not just gonna keep these walls ugly like this, we're actually gonna put in some... Ooh, you startled me. Some spruce planks, I'm thinking. I think that could look pretty cool, hopefully. Uh-oh. So, a bit of a change of plan here. So, the squid farm is built right behind me, as you can see. And there's a small thing here, so I actually messed a lot with my audio settings. Hopefully it sounds as good as possible at this point, because I tinkered with it for days. Oh my god, so much time has passed trying to make this mic sound proper, and I think it's pretty good at this point. I think this sounds really, really good, so hopefully you guys do agree. But basically what happened here is that my microphone, I was like setting it up and like playing with it between cuts and it started sounding really, really horrible. So yeah, instead of showing you all of the horrid audio, instead I'm just gonna give you a small like voiceover, and hopefully that's gonna be better. Hopefully we can stop doing those soon, because I don't really like doing them. I usually just like, you know, being there with you guys, but as always we've been doing a lot of voiceovers, so hopefully this is gonna be the last one, or at least one of the last ones. And yeah, I'm basically just gonna try to explain to you guys what happened while building the squid farm. So, to begin, we started off with placing these spruce planks into the walls, and then we got into the actual farm building, and what we did is we built a few water cubes, like 2x2 water cubes held up with signs, and that's how we started spawning in the squid. However, turns out the squids can actually get stuck like that. They can like start swimming up and that will make them stuck indefinitely because they won't bounce off into the walls, and therefore they won't bounce back down into the hoppers like we wanted to. So there was basically a crucial problem with the design, so I had to figure out something else. So instead, what we did is we filled up a big room of water, around 20 blocks, I think, I'm pretty sure, and I laid a few water streams on the top of it. And the basic premise of this design was to have axolotls in the fish tank, or the squid tank, and they would kill the squid, and the drops would slowly float towards the top of the water as they do, and they would get picked up by the water streams, and then get picked up by the hoppers, get sent into the chest, and that is the farm finished. However, of course there was a complication, so I can actually show that off to you right now here in the game. This is how the design is looking. By the way, it's looking pretty cool. Basically the same thing we did with the moss farm, very basic, just a dark oak rim, some gates like this, really nothing fancy. But what happened is that we had like 5 axolotls in this place, including little Sprucey, which we captured in the last episode, and they all despawned. They are gone. So I think there might be a bug that makes the axolotls disappear. So once they fix that, we're gonna put in some more axolotls into this farm, and yeah, then it's gonna start working. But it was working while they were still there quite well. This is our current input, and yeah, it did get some insects and a bunch of fish as well as some rotten flesh from a few drowned. So yeah, the farm does actually work. We just need to wait for an update, and after that it's gonna be fully operational. So yeah, that is the first project of today's episode done. And there was another project that we wanted to do today, and also I explained what we were gonna do, and my audio was not sounding very good, so I'm gonna explain that real quick right now. So we had a bunch of chests in front of the compendium project, and what I decided to do is I decided to build a small hut for all of the chests, so they don't just lay on the ground there randomly, just a giant chest monster, right? So instead we're gonna put them into a small hut with a dedicated storage system into it. And actually, this is one of the first builds in a very long time which I actually designed in a creative world. So that doesn't, by the way, that doesn't mean that it's nice looking. It's actually designed to be rather ugly, and it uses, of course, the same block palette as this build. So yeah, I'm just gonna roll some of the build montage footage, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the build. So there you have it. That is the build that I prepared in creative, and it's quite something. So I'm gonna do my best to explain what I did here. As I said, we went for the same style as we went with that build there and this build here, and that's what we're gonna be doing in this project with every single build. And I'm just gonna slowly walk around so you can see all of the details and stuff. There is so much stuff that I want to talk about with this build, so I don't even think we're even gonna get to everything today. Let me just make my way around. Do keep in mind that this is not 100% finished. There are still a few small things that I want to do, but as far as the general actual build goes, I think we got basically everything in there. So this is it. This is our little starter compendium base. I guess I still haven't moved everything in. That is going to be some work that I gotta do in between episodes. So yeah, a thing I really wanted to do with this build is trying out some diagonal designs. So this is a diagonal entrance into the base right here, right? So that is pretty cool. That's on a diagonal axis. Same for this little pokey part of the house over here. But we do have some flat areas like these as well. You can't really look at this area really well, but I think it looks really cool. We have the painting there just for some variation. A thing about creative building or building in creative worlds is that it just makes you experiment with all of these different blocks that you wouldn't really experiment with otherwise. So yeah, I think we're gonna do this way more. So we got the pumpkins that we used in all of our builds as of right now. We got the white terracotta because we used that over there. And yeah, overall you can kind of see why I used certain blocks in certain parts of the build. Like we got the jungle planks, which we are also using over there. We got the brick, which is also a running theme. And these things are so good. So people did this trick for quite a while now. They put like chains over top flower pots, and that kind of made them look like they were hanging. Or before they added chains, they used iron bars to do this. Now that there are chains in the game and the azalea bushes, they look actually properly connected. And it looks so good. So that's a thing that I found out in my creative testing, and this is what we used over here. I just kinda spammed these all over the build. You can see one over there. And there's one coming off of the top of the chimney, which is made out of endstone. As I said, building in creative really makes you experiment with blocks you wouldn't usually experiment with, and I think that looks really good. I think that fits this place really, really well. Coming around, we have the brick and terracotta variation, which is pretty basic. We use that all the time there. What else? We use the mushroom blocks along with the jungle planks for texture, and we also have a small garden area here. Maybe if we get like some animals, we can put them here. Gotta have the bookshelves. Every build here has bookshelves in it somehow, so this is gonna be a running theme as well. I tried doing like a graffiti thing here by placing like item frames and paintings kinda in this formation, and I think that looks pretty cool. It makes the walls look really fancy. It makes them look like they aren't plain at all, because it's literally just a plain wall, and I didn't really have space to put a window there, so that looks pretty cool. I do really recommend doing stuff like that. I think that looks really neat. And going around, we have some signs to make some depth, to cast some shadows. We have... what else do we have? This is another interesting thing. So we have another pumpkin here, Glowlicon on the top part. That's looking pretty cool, just to add some color to an otherwise plain wall again. But this is a pretty neat way to create depth. So in 1.16, walls are now connected like this when you put them next to each other, and it makes it look really, really cool. Also connects up to the glass panes like this. Sadly, we have a furnace on the inside there, so it kind of makes it look like it's poking out here, but that doesn't necessarily look too horrible. And more plants, and this is a pretty cool looking area here. We gotta be careful because a pillager went into a boat there, and I don't want to get shot too many times. But hey, this is how the back looks, I guess. I think this would be considered the back of the build. So we have just a small few things here, mostly just plain walls and a balcony, which has a staircase over there, and a bazillion paintings on the top there. And yeah, that's how we come all the way around this build. So let's go check it out on the inside. This is how the inside looks, and it's basically what you would expect. I just basically moved everything from the outside into the inside, so I kind of sorted all of these chests so we can finally get organized in this mess here, because I literally spent half of my episodes just flicking through these chests to find what I'm actually looking for. So yeah, we have a ground one, a wood one, lighting, basic rocks, fancy rocks like diamonds, equipment, decorations, junk, and trash. And the cool thing about item frames is that you can place them in the same block space as the signs, so I kinda used that here, looks pretty cool. Lanterns for lighting, and just a few workstations that I think we will be needing when we are at this place. So yeah, by the way, I hope you like the build, because we will probably be seeing it every single episode when we're working on this from now on, because this is gonna be our main base of operations from now, so yeah, hopefully it's good enough. Also, I had a small smelter on the outside, which I used to cook up some green dye and bricks, and I moved it over here, and I think it fits in pretty well. I think that's pretty neat. I put some signs here just to kind of cover it up so it isn't just a big ugly mess. I used some trapdoor magic here to make that work, because you can't put signs on air blocks, you need a block behind them. So I kind of just used trapdoors like this. You can barely see them, and it makes it look like the bars, like these wooden beam bars, are being held up by the trapdoors. Look pretty cool. I'm not even gonna explain how the smelter works, because we already built it like 3 times in our world. And this is the back area. Again, we have a smaller ladder here, if you want to use that, or you can use the staircase over here. That is your choice. And the top part of the build, ho ho ho, it's actually pretty simple. So we have a map area. I actually ended up doing the map, even though I said that the things on the map do look pretty ugly, and don't get me wrong, they do look really ugly, but once we get all of the custom trees in and everything, yeah, I think it's gonna work relatively well. Also, these bookshelves. Oh yeah, I forgot, the looms, they look like empty bookshelves, right? Yeah, so I used that on the outside as well. I think that looks really, really cool. Just a small shelf area here, nothing too much of interest. And this over here is our bedroom type of corner. Gonna use that right away. And also we have a small lectern place here. If we want to write like custom book stuff, we can use this space over here. And yeah, that is basically the interior of the build. There is still a single thing that I need to show off though, and we can do that while looking at this thing from the top. So again, you can see this thing, the endstone chimney, which looks really cool. I think it turned out really well. Again, we're not gonna get to every single nitty-gritty detail, because I kinda already need to end the episode. It's like 28 minutes long at this point. But this space, this is like a small little lookout tower. And it's really small, it's so cute looking on top of the build. But we have those creepers on the ender sorter there. I think it would be super cool to get a single creeper over here, just like we got some creepers over there. I think it would be awesome to have one on top of this build as well. So yeah, that is this build completed. So yeah, that is going to be it, and that is also going to be the end of today's episode. Again, my off-camera job is waiting for me right here, and I gotta get to it. So yeah, let's end the episode here. Also, my apologies, I didn't know the audio sounded so horrid, because I set up some things, and those things led to the audio sounding like this. I think it sounds really, really good now, so hopefully this is the audio we're gonna stay with. But yeah, the middle part of this video didn't really get this treatment, sadly. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!